Thank you, Morgan. My name is Juan. I'm with a firm called LAG International, and welcome everyone. Today's topic is going to be on the portfolio cost management to increase your return on investment for healthcare industry. We are basing this webinar on a few of our projects that we have done on healthcare, and particularly around the cost management side. And today's agenda is going to be very quick. We try to finish our presentation and demo in 30 minutes. If you have questions, we will be happy to stay after to talk about, to answer your questions. And today we're going to talk about some of the benefits that we see in organizations and projects we have done. We're also going to discuss how we set up and approach the design element for these projects, as well as the operational side. How do we improve the efficiencies and scalability of these cost management operations? And last but not least, we're going to talk about the analytics. That's why we implement a lot of these projects, because we want to get meaningful, actionable information that management can use to act on their projects. So then we're going to talk quickly about who we are. We are the service arm, consulting arm, if you would, for EPM Live as well as for Microsoft Dynamics. These are our two major focus, and because of our financial focus, we also focus on the portfolio cost side of EPM Live. We have offices in US, we have a development arm in India. We have been a partner with Microsoft and EPM Live for many years. Next slide, please. So our mission is to help your organization, the healthcare organization, to improve efficiencies. So we have looked at many organizations and also look at a lot of different solutions, and we encourage and we see a lot of the selections abilities, including there are a lot of third-party solutions out there, including Microsoft Project and Project Server. And for a lot of reasons, we feel that the cost management side with EPM Live, the enterprise solution we have an app called the Portfolio Engine app, is particularly successful because of the scalability of the solution. It is an award-winning solution recognized by Microsoft, Gartner, among others. We're going to talk a little bit about our experience and why they chose EPM Live and why the solution is so successful. So let's go to the next slide. EPM Live is built in SharePoint. And the reason SharePoint is very suitable is more than just an application platform. It is web-based. It has document management, as well as the ability to support workflow, and also the ability to support different form factors, all the way from your smartphone, tablet, to your laptop and computers. They are all supported by this particular platform. Next slide, please. So EPM Live, based on the SharePoint platform, gives us a lot of different layers of solutions. So this is a very scalable solution. We start with the SharePoint side, the platform side, which is SharePoint and EPM Live, and then we add to it a lot of the different elements. The next layer is going to be the work entities. So we add a lot of different entities, features. In a particular case here, we are we are focusing on the cost side, but there are also schedule side and resource side that we can add on. So this is a very scalable solution. And on top of that, we build a number of apps to support your particular requirement. So the solution apps are on top, so you can pick and choose the app that is suitable for you. And last but not least, we also would like to integrate these apps with the external apps, such as your your enterprise financial management side. And then in terms of deployment, you have a number of choices. Several of our clients choose to go with the hosted solution. And then later on, when the solution is live and proven, they can bring them in-house, or also some of them elected to leave it as hosted solution. So that's a little bit of background about EPM Live, the architecture of that. Now we want to concentrate back on the solution itself. And this is the trend that we see in the healthcare industry. Healthcare industry, by and large, the IT side is migrating towards the electronic medical records. Epic is a major vendor that a lot of our clients are implementing the system and actually consuming a large percentage of their IT budget, up to 75–80%. And so because of the healthcare reform with President Obama, there's ripple effects coming down that put a lot of demand on the IT departments within the healthcare organizations. And because of that, IT departments is asked to do a lot more for less. So we have to really control the cost and make the product count. So these, sorry about that. Let's go back one slide. Okay, so these are 3 cases that we have done for the for different healthcare organizations in the healthcare industry. Today we're going to look at the UC Davis Health System that we just recently implemented for them. And there are a number of business issues or pains, if you would, that is addressed. And then these are some of the benefits and results that we see. And particularly the benefits that we see is to be able to automate the labor-intensive areas so that we can reduce the labor. So these are the 4 results that we see, and as a result, the ROI is increased. Automating the labor-intensive tasks, such as manual spreadsheets, streamline the processes, such as funding request, project approval workflow, being able to link the actuals and POs coming back in from the financial systems to compare against budgets. So these are some of the processes that we automate, as well as the providing very timely, accurate, insightful information for management that we discussed earlier. And then lastly, we need the solution to be scalable and integrated so that we can support the long-term growth and changing requirements of the IT departments. So this sums up the solution method to establish an enterprise project management cost solution, because by having an effective solution, Gartner is saying that we can save up to 50% in the cost overruns and also the time associated with the delays. It also can increase the ability to kill unnecessary projects or the runaway project, because of the ability for us to pinpoint very quickly projects in trouble, as well as being able to have an audit trail comparing historical budgets and the trends against actual budgets and actual encumbrances. So that's a major benefit. So let's go into the UC Davis case that we have done. And there are 3 portions that I want to quickly go over. The solution design, setup, and integration portion. And there are some of the considerations or strategies that we use up right from the get-go. The management objective for us to replace some of these or all of these Microsoft Excel spreadsheets that are manually handled, very time-consuming, error-prone. We want to standardize their project request and approval workflow so that it will be a standard process, as well as they want to see the projects in trouble and being able to alert them early, and they can take actions quickly. The solution has to be scalable and doing phase deployment. So they have phase 1 doing the cost management, and then followed by resource management, and then later on portfolio governance. And these are some of the results that we have for them. So when we do the quick design, the first thing to consider is architecture. How many layers or levels do you want your EPM Live portfolio engine to represent? Do you want to put them into separate workspaces so that you can increase the security? Or do you want it to be collapsed into a single workspace so that we have ease of operations? So all the different organizations have different needs and different designs, but generally simplest approach that meets the requirements is the best approach. Next, we're going to go into the solution setup. Excuse me, I skip a slide again. Let me do that one. The other thing that we want to consider is how do we structure the cost management. If you imagine you have a spreadsheet, each spreadsheet would represent a different type of budget, such as your baseline budget, that when you start out the project, the approved budget that management approved, and you want to fix that particular budget at a certain point in time. The current forecast, which is evolving all the time and changing all the time. Encumbrances are the POs that outstanding, that is encumbrance against the project, as well as the actual invoices that were sent out or received and being paid. So all these represent different type of cost. And if you can imagine, those are the worksheets within an Excel workbook. So within each worksheet, we need to define the cost categories, which are your different types of costs that we want to aggregate together, such as your consulting cost, hardware cost, server cost, and so on. And a lot of the organizations also subdivide them into capital cost versus operational cost. And then your columns of the spreadsheet would be your time periods. You have to consider your fiscal year, whether or not you go down to the months, how many months or how many years horizon do you want to go forward. So these are a lot of the organizations that needs to be determined here up at the get-go. And if you can successfully map your requirements into this set of parameters, it would go a long way towards a successful implementation of your project. So the last thing to do the setup on is your integration to your external data. We have an app here that allows you to take a spreadsheet output from your financial system. In our case, in UC Davis, it was Oracle Financials, providing us with the actuals and the encumbrances. And our app translate such as the object code, which is the GL code from Oracle, into the cost categories in our EPM Live application. So there are a number of transformations that we did, and then the end result would be a file that would be acceptable by EPM Live gateway into the cost data as a cost type. So the next one is the cost management. How do we manage the day-to-day operation? We start with a new project form, and this form is customizable to your particular requirements. We have, for example, approval workflow here defined in our project. Is it finance approved? Is it department approved? Is it CIO approved? And so on. These are particular to the UC system. With that, we generate a workflow that allows us to automate the routing and the approval process of this form, of this project. And once the project has been approved, then data can be entered through the project center. And these are different projects based on the different status, in progress versus not in pending versus completed. And then hit this added cost on a particular project. It opens up the cost planner. And cost planner is where you put your budget cost in there. In our particular UC Davis case, we open up the cost type called the current forecast, and allowing the different project managers and different department heads to go in and modify the project cost. But we fix other costs, like the baseline, the approved budgets. Those are the ones that are historical costs that we save. So we also have a cost calculator that allows us to easily enter those data. You don't have to go through 60 months of entry month by month. The cost calculator can automate the spreading out of your costs through the run of your project. The next thing is, after you enter the current forecast, it goes through the approval process, and then once it is approved, then you can copy or freeze your existing budget into a historical budget cost type. So in this particular case, we are copying current forecast into the baseline budget. So the baseline becomes frozen and is available for us to compare and contrast when the actuals comes in or the new budget comes in. Another thing is that there are calculated cost type, such as the cash flow forecast, which takes the actuals, the actual expenditure for the project up to the current month. In this January 2013 is when Oracle actuals came in, and then allowing us to go forward using the current forecast. So it's a combination of two sections of the history on actuals and going forward on current forecast. So the combination of the two becomes our cash flow forecast cost type. So the last area I want to go into is the analytic side. After we have entered all the data here, and we want to, for example, compare two different types of cost. For example, we compare between the actual cost type and the budgeted cost type. And the top one will show you the actual numbers for that particular project, and then the bottom portion is the aggregate of all the projects on top in this particular case, cost category. And that's a heat map showing which month and which type of cost category is in trouble. And this can be applied to one project or can apply to a whole group of projects or the entire organization projects, and to be able to see the aggregate results. So this is a very useful way of comparing cost. The other things that we've done is this cost alert chart or view. These are the projects all listed on the left, and then we have a traffic signal methodology that tells you that whether a project is above budget, orange meaning that is within budget but is getting close to the limit, and then green are the good ones, that meaning they're still below 80% of the budget. We also have cost dashboards that allows us to quickly and easily to see the different groups, projects, their actual cost, which is in orange, and then the blue is the budget. And then the last thing that UC Davis used is called a pivot table that we export from EPM Live into Excel, and that quickly allowed them to choose the type of dimensions and the type of filters and sorting, and allowing the managers to quickly see the underlying cost. So this is how UC Davis used to do the analytics. So I want to now do a demonstration on the system. So Matt, if you can switch over to, if you can click on that link for me. To the UC Davis, okay, so let me quickly log in. So this is the setup screen for EPM Live. Cost management area is the area that we concentrate on. We can go in and, for example, go into calendar and define the different types of calendar is available. 1 second. I think I need to go back. Excuse me. Okay, installing some portfolio engine download here. Apologize. This is the computer that that we use for demo. It doesn't have the some of the apps is not installed, so it's being installed right now. It will only take a few seconds to finish. Okay. Okay, so now we see the different calendar types. We support a number of different calendars, so you can look at annual numbers, budgets, or you can look at monthly budgets, for example, and then you can define, in UC Davis case, they have 72 months defined here. So other setup that you can do, that we talked about earlier, is the cost types. Again, the cost type is send the different snapshot of budget. So like the approved budget would be a snapshot. A current forecast is where you would enter modify the current budget cost, and if you modify it here, it actually tells you in this particular cost type, we have capital cost categories, and then these are the different cost categories already defined for UC this. So let me now into the actual operations itself. Cost height, EPM, okay, so this is the landing page. So when you first log in, and I'm logged in as Edquan here, and these are the projects that is either assigned to me or my responsibilities. And because I'm an administrator, I go into the project center by clicking into the project side, and a view, a project view that is default view, is showing here. So it would take a few seconds. So this is the North Star project. This is the project in progress. So if I highlight a particular project, for example, I have this Epic project, and I can go into the edit cost, and that's where the cost can be entered. So I can see I have a lot of different tabs here that represent the different cost types for this same project that I can use to compare and contrast. I also have a cost calculator here on the right-hand side that if I highlight a row of cost here, I can hit the calculator and allows me to quickly enter the quantity that I want to purchase and then the cost and spread out into the months that I want. So in the interest of time, I'm going to skip out there. And once the cost has been entered, you see this particular view have different cost types listed. So it shows me the baseline budget, my approved budget, current forecast. This is where I can enter the data. The other ones are frozen. But as administrator, I can copy my current forecast to a particular area. For example, this one, this particular project has $35,000 of current budget, but I've no approved budget. If I say that this is now the right time to approve this budget, I would press this cost type button, and it allows me to, for this particular project, copy my current forecast to my approved budget. And if I say copy, and I go back in, out, this is how the customized project looks like for UC Davis, because it has different approvals levels we talk about here, and also it tells me that my approved budget is set. So if I save it, now my approved budget has been set to be the same as the current forecast. So as current forecasts continue to evolve forward, this number would not change. The other thing we talk about is the workflow. This is the area we can start the project approval workflow, and that allows me to approve a particular project. So earlier in the project form itself, I have different approval buttons in there. And when a particular manager approves that budget, a date will be set, and the workflow will continue to the next to the next stage. So for example, so this is the approval here. Finance approval. If I hit finance approval, the system automatically put a date down. So I know that finance approved this particular project as of today. So that's what the approval workflow. Yep. The other one that we have on the operational side is called the copy cost. I'm sorry, is called the cash flow forecast. Cash flow, if you recall, is a calculated cost type that combines the historical actuals with future forecast. And this is where we set the date for the actual history coming in and also the future forecast offset. So that is what I want to show on the operational side. Now let's go into the analytical side. So if I highlight this one project or a group of projects by just clicking on this in progress group, I can hit this cost analyzer button and opens up my analytic window, and the top is the in this case, if I do go to the view, it tells me the top is actuals, the bottom is the baseline budget. So I have different views. I can contrast different types of cost, like actual is a cost type, current forecast is a cost type. If I change this, then the number changes, and it shows me a heat map at the bottom. Anything red is 110% above budget. Anything green is below 80%. And then there are light green and yellow in the middle. And we can define these type of different color code. And it tells you contractor, it seems to be in certain months we are in trouble and needs to do something. And you can click one project or many projects, and it will just combine, take those projects into considerations. So this is one way to look at cost contrast. There's also different views that I can look at the same group of projects. I can go into the cost alert view. Cost alert view, if you recall earlier, is the traffic light signal that tells me a particular project is in trouble, that's red, approaching trouble, that is orange or yellow, and then green is they are safe, in safe range. I don't have to worry too much. So that allows the management to highlight a particular project and quickly be able to open up the project and look at why is it in trouble. And we have a aggregate cost here, the cost detail here, that tells me that my baseline is below the current forecast. $91,000, my current forecast is now $103,000, $105,000, but my baseline budget was only $13,000 when the project started. So that alerts me that something is wrong. Why are we changing the budget so much? So maybe I can take a look into it by drilling down into the project cost. I'm gonna go. Okay, say yes. It wants me whether or not I want to save up. So and then there are other things that we have done is on the report side. There's a lot of reports developed for you. Also, you can use SQL Server reporting services to design your own reports. And in this particular one is the dashboard that allows us to quickly look at groups of projects such as epics. It tells you these epic projects total $82 million, and the current expenditure is close to $10 million. So it tells me each group of projects and the different actuals, and it's a good visual way of telling me which one I need to pay attention to. So with that, I think that finishes my demo. I want to open this up for question and answer. And also, we have a white paper that we developed based on this these case studies. And if you are interested in getting a copy of the white paper, please let us know. I want to put up my this is my contact information. Feel free to contact me if you want a copy of the slides or a copy of this white paper. So with that, I want to open it up, open the floor for questions.
Hey Ed, it's Morgan. I just wanted to jump on the line because it actually looks like we were able to answer all of the questions actually during your presentation today. So
Okay.
yeah, so with that, great presentation. Thank you so much, Ed, and thank you everybody for joining us this morning. And we'll go ahead and end today's session, and we will be sending out the webinar recording a little later this afternoon. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day.